Welcome back to my channel. My name's Ember and I like to read things. I haven't done one of these wrap-up videos in a while, so this should definitely be interesting. I have been kind of on and off in a reading slump for the past couple of months, so I haven't read all that much in like the later parts of 2025. Let's first start with September. The first book I read was Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I gave this book 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed the STEM environment that we got to see again from Ali Hazelwood. If you don't know, the author, she was a woman in STEM for a while and then she went into writing, and a lot of her books are set around the STEM environment and women in STEM. And the first one in this interconnected series was The Love Hypothesis. I really enjoyed that one. Probably my favorite of this interconnected series so far. I've only read 2 of them, so like but the third one I do own and do definitely want to read, and I do recommend this series. It is kind of spicier on the spicy end, so if you don't like that, I would just maybe skip it. But I did really enjoy the characters. The female main character was very quirky. Sometimes it was a little much, but I did enjoy her and like her character and how these characters got along. It was kind of grumpy sunshine. And then there was also some elements from rom-com movies that I personally love, like You've Got Mail, which there's some elements in this book that take inspiration from that movie, and I really enjoyed that. So 4.5 stars. I read this one in September, like I said. I think this was the only book I read in September, but I did really enjoy it. I really love the STEM environment and women in STEM. I love the representation of that. The next one I do not have physically, but I read The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. If you don't know her, she wrote Better Than the Movies, and I'm currently reading a new release from her called Fake Skating. I'm really enjoying it. It's hopefully going to be in a vlog soon, so I'm trying not to give too much away. But anyways, The Do-Over I gave 3.75 stars, I believe, or something, but I think I'm gonna stick with 3.5. I read this book in October and I did really enjoy it. It is definitely YA, and there is magical realism elements in the book. It just wasn't my favorite of hers because it definitely was really repetitive, as like you could tell. Like, it's kind of giving Groundhog Day, if you've ever seen that movie. And so they're just kind of reliving the day over and over again, and that's kind of their love story. The 2 main characters, I honestly can't remember their names, but it definitely wasn't my favorite of Lynn Painter's, but it was really fun at the time, and I do recommend it if you like YA romances. Like, it was good, but it's just not all that memorable, and I read that one in October. The next book I read in October was Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. I believe that's in the When in Rome interconnected series, and I kind of wanted to get through that series before the new one came out, which I did not do, and I'm actually not sure if the new one's out, but I did enjoy it. I just don't think it was my favorite romance I've ever read. I gave that one a 3.25 stars. I did really like it, but it's just not my favorite. Like, I really enjoyed it, but the characters, I don't know, they weren't memorable to me at all. Maybe it's because I was like mid-reading slump trying to get through a book, but it was okay. I did really like how they were in like the same career and occupation. I liked how they were both teachers, and that kind of stemmed a little bit of like rivalry between them, but I really did enjoy that. And I also liked that they were both writers. I thought that was an interesting aspect of the book. I wish we would have went like more into each character as their own person. I feel like we just didn't really do that in this book, but I did really like it. I do recommend it if you want fun romance. I wish I had read it in more of a better time for me reading wise, but it's okay. The next book I read was Onyx Storm, which is a part of the Fourth Wing series. If you don't know, it has been going around, very popular series. It is definitely a spicy book and a romantasy. This series is romantasy if you have never heard of Fourth Wing or read it, and I loved Fourth Wing. Don't get me wrong, I adored that book. It was so good. I read it in like 2 days, and it's a hefty book. And then Iron Flame took me forever to get through. I still enjoyed it, but it kind of felt like a filler book. Now, Onyx Storm. This might be a controversial opinion, but I gave it 2 stars. I did not enjoy it at all. I feel like it was very repetitive, and like, if you haven't read Onyx Storm, like, close your ears or something, but I don't know. They were like going from island to island, right? And it was just really boring to me. Like, the first island, ooh, that was fun, yay, that's cool. But then each time they went to a different one, it just felt like the same thing over and over again. and I just don't understand why we had to go through all that. And then yeah, it just felt really repetitive to me, and that took up like most of the book, so like I don't really remember a lot of the other things that happened. And then the cliffhanger in the book I thought was kind of stupid. Honestly, I thought was kind of stupid, and I feel like we didn't get anywhere in the book. First of all, I feel like we kind of started with the Violet, right? Violet and Xaden, they're in love, blah blah blah, and then they're fighting, blah blah blah, and that I feel like that kind of kept there until the end, and I feel like there was no resolution at all, which I know it's the middle of the series, but I feel like there should still be some type of growth within a third book. Even if it's a middle book, I feel like we should see something happening, whereas I didn't see anything. Okay, yeah, so that's my opinions on Onyx Storm. And the next book I read in November was Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. I was reading this book because I just really wanted to see the movie, which I still haven't gotten to yet because I like the main actors. I feel like they have really good chemistry. But anyways, I gave this one 3.5, and if you don't know, it's dual timelines between the mom and the daughter, and we're kind of following their like love stories. Like we're just following those stories, and it's not dual timelines, but it's dual point of view between Morgan and Clara, and Morgan's the mom, so we're kind of hearing her story and what has happened, and then we're also like in the present time, and we're just going through what has happened, which it gets really crazy really fast in the book. And honestly, I was just like, oh my gosh, like this person's awful, I hate this person, oh wait, I hate this person. It was, yeah, but I really enjoyed it, honestly. I don't know, I feel like we were always something was always happening, and I really enjoyed that we were just always going, something's happening, and in romance books that's not always the case, so I really enjoyed it. I don't know, you'd probably put this under romance, and I did really enjoy it, and I do recommend it. I've never read any other Colleen Hoover books, and the only reason I did read this one was because I want to see the movie. I still do. It kind of looks like a bad adaptation though. Like I saw the trailer, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, which is the only reason I read the book, so like I guess we'll see. But anyways, and then that was the end for November, and in December, which we are still in right now, I have already finished Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber, which is in a reading vlog, so I'm not going to go all that much into my review, but if you don't know her, she wrote Once Upon a Broken Heart and the Caraval series, and I really enjoyed that series like so much. She's one of my favorite authors. Once Upon a Broken Heart is just so whimsical. I love the writing. It really just feels like you're in a fairy tale while you're reading. Like you can imagine everything going on, and I just love how she writes and how depictive she is, and she did not let me down in that aspect with this book. I really enjoyed the whimsy and the magical realism that was happening. I absolutely love that. But the main character, she kind of made me mad at points. I feel like she was always trusting someone else in every single chapter. Like she putting her trust so quickly in people and then taking it away and be like, oh, I think you're evil now because someone else said something, and it's just like kind of annoying. But I really like the ending of this book. I feel like it tied together really nicely, and it was kind of just in the true Stephanie Garber style. Like I really enjoyed that. But there was kind of a twist at the end, and I didn't see that twist, but there was like another pre-twist, if that makes sense, that was just kind of like lackluster, and I didn't love all that much. But I did really enjoy this book. I highly recommend this. It's her debut adult novel, and I think she did really well in that like category, going from writing YA to writing adult. She did really well. I really enjoyed this, so I gave this one, I believe, a 3.75 or 4, maybe 3.75. But yeah, so that's my September to December wrap up, and sadly I only have 2 of these books physically, but I don't really need all the other ones. So thank you so much. I hope to do more of these next year. I kind of like stopped doing them after, I don't know, August or something, but thank you so much for watching. Please share, like, subscribe, comment down below what you've been reading this month, and I hope to see you in my next video.